So as of recording this, a very weird thing literally just happened on Installation 00's Discord, and it's kind of exciting. Some parts of this are odd, and some of it is downright creepy, and there's signs that this could be another augmented reality game like I Love Bees back in 2004, which was an advertisement for Halo 2, or it could just be a troll, but all the same, I just had to make a video talking about it. If you like the video, like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So, the story starts off with a regular conversation in 00's server. We were mostly just talking about lore stuff, things like making real-life ODST armor, etc. And 00 himself was there. He brought up some of his most detailed videos and his most detailed series, and at that moment, an account with random numbers as a name hopped on and sent a very cryptic message. It said, quote, "Ending hibernation. Keywords detected." It then says some gibberish that I'm gonna assume is a code. And then it says monitoring. At first, people weren't really taking this seriously, people were joking around, and then some actually thought it was 00 trying to play a prank of sorts, and I just assumed that this was some sort of roleplay thing made by a random person, which it might be in hindsight. 00 responded to this by saying, "They seem to have been inactive for a long time. They only seem to speak when I say certain things," which was odd, and then he said that he could assure us that he was not behind the account. The account wasn't his. The strange account then followed up with a second message to the server. "An installation of your prestige knows better than to breach the security of the Ecumene Council." This sent the server into a brief madness. People were pinking the account, 00 was confused, and some were even calling to ban the strange account because they thought they were just trolling or something. Others were saying we should look into it, and I just said it was probably a role player, just trying to start a role play or something, and we should just let it be. The account then proceeded to make another statement and said, "You have been releasing secured information freely to our adversaries for a long time. Your actions have not gone unnoticed. They consume the information and it hinders the lineage of the mantle. You are the origin of the array. This information must not fall into the hands of the humans. They are not ready." Then it said, "The array must be protected." At this point, people were curious more than anything. Some were DMing the account, pinging it, asking it questions, and strangely enough, nobody was getting a response, or at least not one that made sense. I figured maybe we should try playing along with whatever story it was presenting, so I messaged the account and presented myself as a UNSC AI that was making inquiries. I asked the account what its purpose was, and I was just told, "I am but a harbinger." I took a screenshot of this and sent it to the server, who went around speculating. Some, including 00 himself, brought up the mention of someone or something known as the Harbinger in the Halo Infinite trailer. Others followed my lead and began to message the account. One presented itself as the Didact and received some cryptic responses as well, and another, funnily enough, because of the name of their account or something, was denied access for being a, quote, progenitor to the Kigyar. Essentially, the account was calling them a less evolved jackal as like an automated response, which was honestly kind of funny. The response given to the quote-unquote Didact was also interesting. Here they are on screen now. You can pause to read them. Read them? Alright. However, my conversation with the account got a little interesting and pretty creepy. Still presenting myself as an AI, I gave it an additional 3 inquiries and requested a response. I actually had to request a response twice, but then it responded by saying, 000 is coming. This splinter of Installation 00 appears to have utilized slip space and its temporal dilation to an impressive degree, nearly as well as myself. I gave a response to the inquiry asking, "Are you implying a physical interaction with time?" Because when it mentioned temporal dilation, I knew it was referencing time. And it confirmed my thoughts by giving me an affirmative. I repeated a previous inquiry by asking if it was an AI, and I also requested some slip space data or whatever because it mentioned slip space, so I figured, oh, well, maybe it has something slip space related. It replied with another, quote, affirmative, and Then I repeated my request for slip space data, and I also asked it if it was positioned at 343. Like, I wanted to know if maybe this was something to do with 343, because people wanted to know. And the response it gave to me, well, this is where it gets creepy. Here is the message it sent on screen. The coordinates at the bottom, when typed into a map, leads you to Tsavo National Park, Kenya. This is a very significant location in Halo, as it is very prominent in Halo 3 story as being right over the portal to the Ark, the location where the Halo array was completed and fired from. It also happens to be the location where the Covenant leadership, well, the last of the Covenant leadership, was essentially executed by the Arbiter. When I put this on the server, people were very much intrigued, but some were losing interest. 00 was interested and asked where the coordinates led to. I responded with Tsavo Park, Kenya. I also put a screenshot of the location on the map. What makes this so significant is the fact that there has been recent talk of New Mombasa and the Ark portal, and to give these very specific coordinates was just very off-putting. It feels very elaborate for a troll. I gave the account a thank you and then made another inquiry by simply saying, Ark portal? The account asked me about my capacity of interest, which I'm guessing meant how interested was I, so I answered by telling it that it was my alpha priority, which was a designation for some Halo AI. This was the message it sent me. I requested access to the node, and it denied me access. It said communication systems were under strain because another entity was attempting to access it. Of course, I asked who the entity was, and all I got in response was, my access is being revoked. He is here. Shortly after, the account went offline and nobody can get a response in the DMs. So now let's get into thoughts about this whole weird situation. All in all, people are very mixed on what they think. Some think this could be some sort of augmented reality game type thing, similar to the old I Love Bees ARG meant to advertise for Halo 2 way back in 2004. Others think it was a role player, and some people think it was just a troll doing troll things. 00 himself did say he was willing to humor the possibility of this being the start of some sort of ARG. However, he also doesn't want to go off the rails in the case that this is in fact some role player or troll, and you know, it would kind of suck if you make this big deal about an event that happens in a server only to find out, nope, it's fake. So understandably, he's skeptical, and so am I. To me, personally, I'm not sure what to think of this. It may very well be some random role player trolling the server. However, a little part of me is excited at the idea of this possibly being an ARG, and some things do stick out to me. This does seem a little elaborate to be just a troll. Certain details, like them saying something, not popping up for a few months, and then showing up now to give these cryptic messages is not really a troll move. I mean, trolls kind of like to hit consistently. It seems a little odd for a troll to just vanish for months on end. Especially considering they went into a lot of detail. And they even gave me the exact coordinates to a very, 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 very important location in Halo. Makes me wonder. But I am still taking this with a huge truckload of salt. To wrap up, this was a very weird occurrence and has me looking at the account very closely, but I won't say whether or not it is actually an ARG or not. Currently, we do not have enough to go off to verify this, and my question regarding 343 was essentially ignored. However, we can't expect an ARG to mention the people that made it. At the same time, this could still very well be a role player. We don't know as of now. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Was it a troll? Is this perhaps part of an elaborate plan made by 343? Who knows? If you liked the video, please be sure to give it a like, and if you want to see more of my stuff, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and have a lovely day.